Now here, just into July, beautiful meadow flowers are out. Well, I'm just going to take the peas down now. They've come to fruition, and you see I've already started picking them. We're going to have a nice collection of Monty 2 and the ordinary peas. Quite a good crop on them. So we'll gradually start harvesting the garden. Here, the courgettes have come on quite well. They'll turn into marrows for me as well. With a few sweet corn that have come up are doing fine. And in the greenhouse, the cucumbers are also doing well. See here, we've got 2 nice ones. Well, considering a friend had some last night, that's not too bad for the crop. Now I've just got to rotivate that part over again. Well, the peas are now lifted, and I'm just taking you around to the spuds because it looks like our new potato crop is going to be superb. Just look at this. I've just pulled off some of the surface ones and the place is littered with them, so I'm just going to take off those and just dig up one bunch to see what we get. So let's just see what is actually underneath here, because these look superb as they are. Look at these lovely little juicy fellas just lying here waiting to be picked up from the surface. It's a nice selection of new potatoes. A bucket full just simply by picking up the surface ones. Wonderful. I've just dug a little bit deeper for Brian because he'd like to take some home, I'm sure, with some peas. He'd been giving me some fresh eggs. So there we go. Lots more to pick out yet. All the water's going down. I want to start looking at these barbel, and these sorts of places are the most obvious. Some beautiful spots. And if you were fishing the dales, you'd think, yes, that looks good for barbel. How can you resist a spot like this? Now, if you were a barbel, wouldn't you want to hang around here? I think we might fish this pool first today and just relax a bit. Maybe put the bait just out on the edge of that current there at the back. A nice little chub rise here. We'll plonk a piece of luncheon meat far out. Just out on the edge of the current there. And we'll see if anything's about. It's got a beautiful place to be again, isn't it? That's the point. There we go. There we go. So fishing this swim down here, they could be anywhere in here at all. A beautiful country scene, isn't it? Just going over to this weir here to have a look and see if there's anything worth fishing. That's the place I was thinking of buying. It's still for sale, don't know why. Wonderful opportunity. Comes as an acre of ground right next to the river here. Needs total renovation, but what an opportunity. Anyway, it takes a lot of work, yes, and I couldn't be doing with that for the moment, so I've taken the one I've got. Well, the water's gone down quite a bit now, and I come back to the Sedelle, this other little trout river just down below Creuse. I'm going to have a go with the worm and the fly today, this morning. Just relax, work my way down. Hopefully we might catch one or two trout. If we don't, it's a lovely day, get some nice shots. If we do, even better. It'll be wonderful, won't it? What a lovely place to be. See some sort of fish just coming up on the surface here. It could just be roach. See if I can put a fly out just across the limb and see what happens. If we're lucky, won't get caught up in the trees. Let's see what happens. Casting to the left. There we go. Out. Little nymph. I mean, it could be that all they are is little roach, but we'll give it a go. If they're taking a fly off the top, they might just take a nymph. We'll try this little spot here, that pool over there. Another nice looking spot. Give this a go. You see there are some really delightful spots down here before we even get down to the river. Well, beautiful spots to fish, even if there isn't much here now, we shall see. Well, that's the finish of this stretch. Let's work our way back up. We've tried a bit of spinning now. We've tried worm, we've tried fly, but I'm not sure there's any fish left in here. I think the French have had them all. Well, here we are this morning down at the little cruise at the Monty Bridge, as we call it. Another beautiful place. So we haven't caught much recently, but it's just nice to come out here and have a go, isn't it? Put the rods together now. This morning I've just put a little light maggot rod, the barber rod in case, and some basic gear. We might get some twiddlers for live baiting later. Well, I've just seen quite a few smaller fish down here already. We'll just go and have a look at the top of the bridge and see if there's anything larger lurking. Otherwise this isn't a bad spot to fish, or we could go a bit lower down. It's amazing how we can come to a spot like this and there's absolutely nobody else here. It really is the perfect place to spend my days, my last days, tranquility. Well, it's a choice then to fish this beautiful place here, a wonderful pool, or the one under the bridge. Maybe we do both. This one looks a superb barbel spot. You'd think just down under the run here, maybe at the base there'd be something, maybe some roach in the pool, but I have seen some nice roach and chub just at the top by the bridge, so we'll start off there and maybe finish here. I realised what I didn't bring. I didn't bring the landing net. Probably won't need it. Another angler down. I'm going to try for some little roach and chub just down here in the pool. Well, nothing yet. There's fish in here, but they're very hard to get. I'm just trying caster now. Oh, we're just not catching here, so I'm going to move down to that bend. Well, I wonder where best to fish here is. Let's have a look down on the bank. Well, what a beautiful spot. We've settled in, but I don't know we're going to get any bites. It's good. There's a crowd come down now to take a walk along the banks. It's well used. You would think it would be full of fish, but I haven't found them yet. I know there's roach and chub in here, at least, and more. These wonderful, almost jungle-like places. A bit like New Zealand just here. There's a fish just moved there. Could be a nice spot to fish too. Beautiful place to paint though. I've already done one big texture one here, as you know. Well, I think what we'll do is go and try that little piece on the Grande Creuse now that we fished the other day, with maggot this time, just for an hour or so. Well, we're back on the Grande Creuse again, where we were the other day. Didn't get anything here the other day, but we didn't try maggot. We'll have a little go with the maggot. See what happens. Well, I've caught nothing here as well again, so I'm going to go back. I've got a painting drawn up to do. We'll do that. I've had a nice little morning out and enjoyed the sunshine and the surroundings. Well, in another day, I've got 3 guests coming from England, past art students and friends of mine, Dot and Mike and Jenny, his wife, and they're going to have 10 days or so here and paint and enjoy the countryside and enjoy the wine, and we've got some trips organised out for them to see beautiful places and go to firework displays and have meals and dances. So we'll get an idea of what it's like here by seeing how they get on. I'll try and film on my way through it, and maybe you'll want to join me as well sometime. For the moment, let's just take a quick look around the garden, because we've got now to the beginning of July, and I've got things in hand. Been planting various trees out, trim things, the flowers are up, the garden's quite nice. I'll just have a walk around with you, and you can just see how things have turned out at the moment. Well, the butterfly collection here has increased slightly. I've taken a few in this early season to replace the ones that were moth-eaten and damaged before I came. It's interesting to see what local species there are in this region. There's fish in the tank, and I've been doing this new series of paintings. Upstairs, I'm doing the last one in the series, and then I'm going to move on to some plein air works and 1 or 2 other different projects I've got. That's the end of the market scenes for the moment. The entrance hall you've already seen. We took the fireplace up and rebuilt it, and that's now ready. When my guests come, I'll have a meal ready for them here. I'll be having this little double room, and Dot will be upstairs in another double with an ensuite. As you've been aware, the kitchen is now finished as I want it. I would like to work on the bread oven yet, because I'd like to have that be used for making bread or pizzas, but it means we've got to try and build a chimney into this area here. At the moment it used to come down to a wood burner, a log burner there, but we need to bring out a chimney from inside the oven up through into the chimney here, so that when that door's open we can have a fire lit. The smoke doesn't come out into the room, but it does go up the chimney. I've got some ideas about that, but we'll have to see. Outside we've got the white table and chairs there, but it's not an area that I use that much. I tend to use this area out the other door, and I've got to get a better table and chairs for this later, because I've got the view down the garden here, which is much nicer, with the hammock and then a sunbed here ready to relax, again for my guests. The fish pond's quite attractive now. The lilies and the plants are out. We've got some little roach swimming around in there, as you might be able to see. My little grapevine I bought from England isn't doing that well, but maybe it will establish. In this area of the garden with the artichokes, it's got a bit weedy, but hopefully there'll be some flowers amongst it. Two more trees in this bit of garden. There's this cherry plum here from England, and a fig there. And of course the buddleier's coming out now as well, which is rather nice. I love the buddleia not just for its look, but also because it attracts many butterflies and I can film them on it as well. Keeping the moles down has not been easy. As soon as you get rid of one, another seems to come. I might get an explosive mole trap, I think, and do it that way, because I'm not being that successful with the ordinary traps. At the bottom of the garden we're gradually clearing the piles of rubbish out of the way and replanting. You can see here one little buddleia and an exotic fruit tree. Unfortunately this year has been a very poor year for the fruit and the nuts. My walnut tree, I can only see one nut on it, and the same with my friends, and the cherry trees haven't been that good either. Although I am going over to Leslie's tomorrow to pick some cherries there and have lunch. Lovely places to relax. So I've been trimming back the hedges as well, because they've been overgrowing the garden. Here's a little cherry plum we just planted in, and the fig in the background. The workshop's come on well too. I'm worried about this tree. It's so huge that if it did break and come down, it would come into the roof, so I've got to look at a tree surgeon maybe there, though I don't want to cut it back really. We go through this archway to the front garden. And of course the lilies are out here as well, which is very attractive. And my banana tree in the background has also done very well. It's out now in the wild, and I think it'll survive the winters here. Always fancied a banana tree outside. That used to be in the big greenhouse, remember, in Lincolnshire. And outside the new car, and the lovely lilies that have come out at the front of the house as well, that I brought from England. Lovely landscape in the background, and we come into our front garden, and this wisteria is really growing up now. You can see, I think next year it's going to really come across this new framework I've built, and will be an absolute dream. It'll help to screen it off and be beautiful colours. Up in the main garden, got the grass down, trimmed the trees back, got the vegetable gardens going, a few flowers at the front, onions, carrots, cabbage, turnips, beetroot, more cabbage, spring onions. We've taken out the peas and now put some peppers in their places. The broad beans are coming on well, the potatoes behind we've seen, really good crops of those. Up this end, the French beans, more tomatoes, sweet corn, leeks, and of course the courgettes and the marrow coming there, and I suspect pumpkins in the background as well. The problem with green fly in the greenhouse, and I've sprayed it with special stuff a couple of times. Just bought another chemical now that's quite expensive, and hope that that's sorted them out on these peppers. But as you can see, the rest of the plants are doing quite well, as are my cucumbers. And my buddleia bush in the front garden is coming out as well, which is lovely to see. Absolutely delightful. And there's my runner beans in flower. Isn't that great as well? And the comfrey. And the grapevine here, which I'm not sure what it is yet, but I suspect it's a white. Looking after that and growing that properly, and look at the grapes coming on this as well. Well, this will be the last bit of film I do before my guests arrive, and we have a 10-day film of how they get on here in our adventures, which I hope you'll enjoy sharing. And it'll be a nice keepsake for them as well, won't it? Leslie's house now, and we're just going to come up this lovely drive that she's made, and her flowers are really coming out now. Pretty about the open garden, but earlier on, because the weather was so bad, this wasn't going to happen. But the gardens are certainly looking nice now, and especially this driveway just up to her house where all these flowers are coming out along the borders. Very pretty. And today we're going to come here for an invitation to pick the cherries, probably eat more than I pick, and have dinner with her. A nice Sunday lunch. I brought some of my greens and new potatoes along to go in with it as well. So it'll be rather lovely. Nice Sunday, quietly here with my friend Leslie. So we're going to start with artichoke from Leslie's garden. And Leslie's not going to come into the film because she's slobbing today. What a lovely selection of homegrown homemade veg, and wild boar cross sanglais and a pig. And we're going to have this lovely dinner now. So just had a taste of this, and it's absolutely superb and mouth-watering. So I'm not going to let you see this any longer and film any longer. I'm going to tuck in. No, you were saying?
You've got the Cecil Sharp house to...
Good talk. These lovely cherries I'm about to pick. I just love cherries. Good dog. Come on, out you come. Where are you going to start? Are you going to start on the lower ones, or are you going to start on the upper ones? Yippee!
You're not meant to be eating them.
A bit of wire gone. No, baskets and baskets of cherries. I think they're about €7 or €8 a kilo in the shop, something stupid anyway, very expensive. So Leslie's about to weigh them, but I think it must be, well, if it's €7 a kilo, there's got to be about 100 quid's worth of bloody cherries here, aren't there? Wonderful.
That doesn't count what you ate, Peter.
Well, here are cherries, and now we're going to come round to the old antique cherry pitter I've got, and I'm going to do a load of them on that. You can see below the new potatoes in the garden this morning. We still have a load for my guests coming Tuesday, and for myself of course, to pick out on them. So the way it works is that the cherries go into here, and you push that through. Aha, so start the system now. You put 2 cherries on here, we have a plate here, we have a plate here. It takes a little bit of time to work out. We press the stones through, we lift it up, they drop off, they roll onto this plate, and the stones are there. Voila, so simple, great. Well, there we are. We've got the cherries that are not quite ripe yet, or just nice for eating now. The ones that are getting a little bit overripe, all been done with the cherry pepper stoner, and in there ready to go in the freezer. So these old antiques of mine aren't just there for show, we actually do use them as well. With my guests coming on Tuesday, I want to make a light salad for them for lunch, so we've got some artichokes from Leslie's garden, and I'm just going to cook those up and have them cold and ready for that day with a nice little salad for lunch. I already made some potato salad to go with it. And we have some nice lettuce from Raymond's garden he gave us as well. I think that with some Roquefort cheese and some Gouda, a bit of salad would be nice. So there's our table cherries for eating, and our cherries bagged up for the freezer. See in the background my Downton Abbey egg tray in use. Well, I've just been down to the cellar for the first time since I've come here. and it's very damp down here. Originally I was going to try and make it into the workshop, but it's just too damp, so I can't really store anything down here, but it's obviously great for something as a wine cellar. And I was looking at all of these empty bottles thinking maybe it would be nice to make some wine here sometime, and I came across a box the same as that one, but it was full of wine bottles, 6 bottles of lovely sweet white dessert wine. So I've taken that upstairs, and that's a wonderful find, and thank you previous owners for leaving that behind by accident or whatever. Well, it's very kind of them to leave me 6 bottles of this Cellier de Templier. A nice sweet white. Unfortunately the builder hasn't turned up today. This was our last day to try and get the new bedroom completed so I could be in with the guests coming. Regrettably his wife's had an accident, fallen off a horse and fractured several ribs, so he won't be here for a while, and I've got to use this little spare bedroom, the other bedroom, for Dot, but I think she'll be alright in here on her own. It's opposite to Mike and Jenny. The table laid up for their lunch when they arrive tomorrow. Let's finish off this film, and so that'll be it now until my guests arrive tomorrow and we start filming their vacation here.